you've watched the show at least once, you know that I am a Destiny stan. I play Destiny, we play Destiny 2. I've been playing it since beta. What's funny is my younger brother that got me into Destiny, and he abandoned it and left me alone. But no, I've been playing Destiny. I've met some cool people. I still play with a lot of them. It's a great game. I enjoy it. It's not without its faults. But
right.
With all of that said, when Bungie first broke off from Microsoft and stopped, Microsoft let them go. They say you can go, but you can't have Halo.
You can't have Halo.
Okay. We got our own thing. It's called Destiny. They signed a 10-year deal with 10-year publishing deal with Activision. So that would be that was in 2010. Would be set to expire in 2020.
Right.
Alas, it has already expired.
It's over, baby.
Activision has let Bungie out of that deal, and not only did it let them walk away, they let them walk away with their own IP. So Bungie is no longer under the publishing thumb of Activision. They will now self-publish Destiny 2 and Destiny 2 content going forward. There's been no details of how Activision got out of it. We don't know if it's a contract trigger that allowed them out. We don't know if they bought their way out, because they did get $100 million last June from NetEase. Which is a Chinese gaming conglomerate, or it's a Chinese conglomerate. They don't just do gaming, but they're in the gaming space. But they got $100 million last year from them. So we don't know how Activision wiggled their way out of the deal, but they did. Activision and Bungie have said that they're winding up the transfer of IP. That should be done pretty soon. And once that's done, Bungie's on their own. I find it super interesting. We talked about this late last year when Activision was voicing that they're not happy with the revenue being generated by Destiny 2.
Right. Yeah. At every single opportunity, they let it be known that they were unhappy with the sales figures. I mean, even with the most recent DLC or expansion, I should say, the Forsaken expansion, which has seen a lot of praise in the Destiny community. Activision, let it be known that they were not particularly happy with the amount of concurrent players. They wanted more people back. They wanted more people playing the game.
I think that's a catch-22. I think some of the design things that faulted Destiny Destiny 2 when it was first released, and pushing players into the microtransaction store, I think that actually helped erode the player base. The long turnaround for new content made the content stale, helped erode the player base. And these were types of decisions that would come from Activision, especially the pushing players into that Eververse, which is their microtransaction store. So it's like they threw a wrench into the machine and are complaining that the machine is now broken. And there's, but I mean, what is Bungie to do? They didn't have final say on all the things they would have liked to have had final say on. But them walking away, I'm actually pretty hopeful that we'll see the game move more towards the community, and what the community is looking for, and less towards the monetization that Activision was pushing for.
Yeah, and one thing that did come out of Activision was that because currently on PC the game is being distributed, I think, on the blizz.net or whatever. Yeah,
Blizz. Yeah, it's on the Blizzard's store.
Yeah. So I think it's going to continue to be ran there for the foreseeable future, but there will be a time where it'll have to transition over to something else.
Somewhere else. Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting. I see another contender for the Epic Games Store.
Epic Games Store, yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes and how it goes. If Bungie remains independent, maybe they don't remain independent and somebody else picks them up.
Man, we talked about this off camera too, man. If Microsoft came in and bought Bungie, I don't know, man. Can they even afford Bungie? They could probably afford Bungie right now.
Who, Microsoft? Microsoft is making so much money.
Yeah.
Look at their games, but you forget that Azure, their cloud service, is them and Amazon. Is Azure and AWS as far as cloud. And cloud is huge. They're still making a ton of money off of their, not Windows so much, but the Office products, Office 360 with those subscriptions and stuff like that. So they're making tons of money. Microsoft is rich. They can buy whatever they want to buy. If they wanted Bungie, that's the drop in the bucket for them, to be quite honest.
It'd be a good drop.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how Bungie proceeds, if they continue to proceed individually. Like we had a story like this last year, right, with IO Interactive, where Square Enix cut them loose and gave them that IP, and they just signed up a publishing deal to publish Hitman 2. No, Hitman 2.
With Warner Brothers. And it was a similar situation where Square Enix was just not happy with how the game was performing.
Right.
But it was Square Enix that had decided that the game should be episodic, and that's what one of the main things that people hated about the reboot. The first game in the reboot.
Yeah, that's another company that broke the window and then started complaining that they were cold.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. So, maybe it was a similar situation. Maybe they bought their way out. Maybe there was some breach in the contract. We do not know, but I definitely cannot wait until that news comes out, because I definitely want to discuss it with you guys. So apparently the sky's the limit for Activision, whether they want to self-publish or if they want to, Bungie. Yeah, the sky's not the limit for Activision. Activision is in deep doo-doo right now.
Yeah, something is amiss. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, between them like losing, high-ranking officials, to just major companies just like backing away from the brand. It's like, wow. But as far as Bungie is concerned, the sky's the limit for them. Maybe they can start implementing things into Destiny that they wanted to, and they already mentioned that they're working on a brand new IP as well. So we'll see where where that IP lands as far as a publisher, or if they're gonna just do it themselves.
Yep.
Because getting a lot of people were, I would say, like upset when Bungie decided to leave Microsoft and do business with Activision. A lot of people were upset about that. Didn't think it was going to go well. They were lucky in terms of just kind of like operating as a separate entity. Unlike Blizzard, which we're seeing now. Activision has got their hand like far reaching into Blizzard's business.
Right.
But Bungie was allowed to do their own thing. And so now they're just like cutting ties clean. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm interested. I'm interested.
You are interesting.
I'm interested to see where Bungie goes with Destiny. The next version, if it remains on the same timeline, Destiny 3 will be coming out next year in 2020. They have another major DLC release this fall. They have, I think they have at least one, maybe two more content drops coming up, and then there should be a new DLC that comes out. So it'll be interesting to see how they go forward with the monetization of the game, how they go forward with new content drops, and if they decide to self-publish, or if they're gonna partner with the publisher to get the rest of the game out. Yeah.
I mean, Destiny has had its issues, but I still think that it is a high tier IP.
Yeah, one that
I'm not happy that I haven't played that game. This is definitely a game I want to play. I do have it on PlayStation. I got the base game when it was the free version. Yeah,
it takes so much time to do. I have it on PlayStation, the free version. I have it on PC because they gave it away free on PC as well.
I think I got that too.
I would like to wait. I'm just waiting for them to allow cross. They don't even need cross-platform play, but cross-platform save, so I can jump from PC to Xbox. I don't care about PlayStation. I don't care if I ever played on PlayStation. But I would like to play it on PC. I would like to play with O on PC.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That'd be cool. But it'd be interesting. And another thing to look out for is the console exclusive nonsense. That is clearly 100% an Activision thing. They do it with Call of Duty. They did it with Destiny 2. And I wonder if Bungie's going to cut that out as well.
Yeah, we'll see. Yep. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely expecting them to announce that it's going to be on the Epic Games Store. Like,
oh yeah, it's 3, 2.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on. I don't know how we can continue after this mind-bending story, but we're gonna have to give it a shot.
Yep.
All right, so next up we got news out of GameStop, and GameStop has not had a good 2018. It has been trial after tribulations, and they just can't seem to find a foothold in this more digital age.
Right.
Back when the Xbox One was first announced, people screamed to the heavens that we were going to be able to still have used games after Microsoft was forced to do the 180 on their policy around game discs.
Always on, game disc and always
and
on.
always on and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that scarred me the time where Sony came out with that impromptu ad, PlayStation 4. How do you share games? And he just like handed him the disc, and it was like, oh, that hurt. It cut me deep.
Yeah, people, man, that still annoys me because people are so short-sighted.
Yeah.
Because right now, the way we're using the systems, digital sharing, digital downloads. That's what Microsoft announced when they announced the Xbox One.
They did.
So,
and if your console isn't always on, as soon as you turn on your console, you're downloading like mad updates whenever you put it online. So what's the point?
all Microsoft did was explain to you what was happening, and Sony just did it without telling you it was going to happen, and you guys are happy with that. So whatever. Anyway, GameStop has been struggling because more and more people are moving towards digital downloads. Me personally, the last disc I bought for my Xbox One, and I didn't actually buy it, I got it for free, was Evolve. And
ew.
So that's the last disc I've actually gotten for my Xbox One. And right now I have not a single disc. I've all gotten rid of all of them. Everything is digital. I have a game share friend. Shout out to March.
Hey.
He's got me the Disney game, Kingdom Hearts coming. I'm excited. But yeah, so
that thing preloaded, man.
With game shares always on, I can just take my hard drive. I have 2 Xboxes in the house. I can take it upstairs and plug it in, and all my games are there. I don't have to worry about taking 1 or 2 discs. I love this fast swapping. If I'm playing Destiny, I can just jump into Madden, and then I can just jump into Red Dead. I don't have to get up out of my seat because I'm fat and lazy. It's a whole bunch of benefits to having digital. And when you have a physical store and your job is to sell physical items, and a large percent of those physical items are game discs, and when people start moving to digital, you're not going to sell as many game discs.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the problem. I think GameStop is moving more and more towards the niche, and eventually they're going to be out of business.
Mm-hmm.
I see a likeness, and I do photography. I take my pictures, and if you guys didn't know, I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back. The backgrounds we're using are my Bungie originals.
Yes, very beautiful.
But it's the same thing with the camera shops. There used to be, when I first started, there were camera shops everywhere. It's 2 or 3 different ones. They were all over the place. Then it was just Pen Camera, and now Pen Camera is gone because everything is online. Everything is cheaper. Amazon had a huge impact on that, selling a bunch of Chinese knockoff junk. B&H Photo is another one that just it destroyed the brick and mortar camera business, and the same thing's happening to GameStop. And GameStop's prices aren't friendly. When you look at the accessories, they're usually $5 to $10 more than what they are when online. Even at Best Buy, which I can walk into a Best Buy now and get stuff, because Best Buy sells more than just games. What's happening to GameStop is inevitable, and unless they figure out some other way to get people into their stores, they're not going to be around for much longer.
Yeah, they're not going to make it. Yeah. I think one of the first mistakes that they made, and you were just talking about, is they bought up all of their competition.
Yeah.
So we
Babbage's,
we don't have EB Games anymore. We don't have Funko Land anymore.
Right.
And some of these stores actually, specialize in different kinds of games. I remember Funkoland being one of the last places that you can actually get like cartridges,
Right.
like N64, the
classic stuff. Yep.
And I'm sure that, with all of the companies that they bought up, that there are freaking trucks full of just like old games that just sitting in storage somewhere, and it's freaking sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. They haven't been able to really adjust to how quickly digital has taken hold. And their business model has changed like drastically over the last few years.
Yeah.
I remember. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so the story, because we actually haven't even gotten to the story.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to the story.
The story is that GameSpot is possibly going to be sold by February. And it's being sold to the worst type of people, which are two private investment firms. And if you don't know about the private investment firms, just ask Toys R Us.
Oh, God.
With these, I'm gonna call them vultures, you call them leeches, you call them whatever you want. Their job is to extract as much money out of a business as possible. So what they do is they go and they get these loans to buy the company, and then they transfer the loan debt to the company they purchased.
Mm-hmm.
So on top of GameStop, they start siphoning off the profits, and they make GameStop's they'll make the company pay the loan back. And that's what happened to Toys R Us. Toys R Us was crushed. They weren't doing too bad. They were crushed under the excessive debt that was handed over to them when they were purchased by a private equity firm. And this is the same type of thing. It's about 2 or 3 private equity firms out there looking to buy GameStop. And if they were to buy GameStop, what they're going to do is borrow the money from the banks, saddle that debt onto GameStop, and now all of the profits GameStop makes, they're going to suck that out, and then GameStop is going to be left to be paying the debt down. Yeah. And what always happens is, because now they don't have the ability to quickly change their business because it costs money to do that, they get stale.
Mm-hmm.
The stores start falling apart. The inventory is not as select. They don't have as much selection in their inventory, and eventually it's just a slow death. And I mean, you buy one of these private equity firms buys GameStop, I give it about 3 to 5 years before there's no more GameStops.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty sad sight. I mean, just think about some of the things that's happened over the last few years. I remember when I worked there. That wasn't a few years ago. This was a long time ago. But when I worked there, I remember they used to sell DVDs. They don't sell DVDs anymore.
No.
And then just recently they stopped selling cell phones because they sold their cell phone portion of their company.
Yeah, they tried portable electronics, they tried cell phones, they tried tablets, they tried movies, they've tried the collectibles. They have collectibles. Yeah,
they're doing collectibles now. T-shirts. They're pretty cool, but like I can get them at other places cheaper.
Much cheaper. $25 for a Black Panther shirt that I can get for $15 somewhere. Or come on, give me a break. And it's not like it's better quality. It's the same damn shirt. They just mark it up through the roof. I mean, their business has always been used gear. I think their best bet is to try to shift more to used hardware, more controllers, more headsets, more consoles, more other things that gamers use. Start catering maybe to the streaming community. Get microphones, get stands, get webcams, get the stuff that streamers use, because that's huge in gaming right now.
It is.
Start bringing that type of stuff in, and move and take away the focus on the physical game. I mean, still sell, because there's still people that sell physical games. When you go into a GameStop, I went into GameStop recently to try to get my hands on a pre-order for that Kingdom Hearts PlayStation, which was online only through a third party and is not available anymore, unfortunately for me. But the people that were in there wasn't a gamer like you and me. It was parents with their young kids. So they have to cater to that group of people, make the store more family friendly. I mean, those are the type of things they should be looking at, as opposed to trying to hold on to this used physical media business. Because that business is dead.
Yeah. Yeah, and because you always joke about how you buy a game at full price and you take it back to GameStop and they'll give you $20 for it and then sell it for $5 off the full price.
Full price, right.
That was actually the case. And, since people aren't selling their games anymore because there's no games for people to sell, as everybody's, a lot of people are going digital, they're not making that, instant revenue on their used game sales. I think a major issue that GameStop is having right now is that their used game sales are probably in the toilet compared to previous years.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting is, we talk about this a lot, that we're in a major metropolitan area, right? We're just outside of DC. Both of us are in the DC metro area, which we have very reliable, very good high-speed internet access. There's a lot of people that don't have that. So they may not be doing the digital purchases, right? Because it's a pain for them. They barely have enough to actually play online, let alone try to download a 20, 30, 50, 100 gigabyte game and get that installed. So those people, and you're moving towards more rural areas, more towards the middle of the country. You're looking at those people. Those people are definitely still in the GameStop, in the GameStop ecosystem. They go to GameStop, they buy the physical games, they trade in their games, they still do that. But as these IPs, these internet providers, as Verizon and T-Mobile and AT&T start rolling out this 5G service, that's going to make high-speed internet available to people that previously didn't have high-speed internet because they don't need to build that physical infrastructure. They're just putting the cells on the tower. It's going to further erode GameStop's base, their customer base.
And with how quickly everything is just going towards digital, especially what we're hearing whispers of for the next generation of games, people might start backing out, if not slowing down on retail releases or physical copies. There's some instances where a physical release is like, oh well, this is something cool, this is like a collectible,
a collector's edition,
something like that. But I think we're going to see less and less of those going forward.
I agree. I can imagine like the gaming section at Best Buy just being all hardware, controllers and consoles and headsets and other hardware devices, and that goes with the gaming system. And they sell cards. I bought games for my daughter for Christmas for her Switch. I just bought her 2 cards, and I bought the cards from Best Buy because I had Best Buy points to spend. So I got a discount there. I mean, that's where you get discounted Nintendo games, third parties.
Yeah, that's how you do it, man. That's the only place it's gonna work.
Right. So I mean, it definitely.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
It's definitely a slow walk to the graveyard for GameStop, and they realize it. They just don't know what to do.
Yeah. So hopefully, I mean, I myself am not a GameStop, customer. So if it went away, it wouldn't impact me directly, but it would definitely impact just a lot of history, man. And then what's gonna happen with all those used games? Like that's another thing. Are they just gonna be like just thrown into like some kind of landfill? They're gonna be destroyed. Like
all that plastic, it goes to the environment.
Right. Like what's gonna happen to all that history?
They can recycle it. Hopefully, they can set up some kind of program where they send it to be recycled if they can't get rid of them or sell them.
Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to do something, but that's enough on GameStop. We don't talk about these guys often, but I feel like every time we do, especially recently, it's just been bad news.
Yeah,
and bad news is bad.
Yeah.